Good morning, students. Up to this, we completed the chapter circulation and respiration, and now we are going to study about the next one chapter, that is 10th one chapter in your syllabus, that is human health and diseases. Okay. Now, under the human health and diseases, first you have to know about the what is mean by health. Okay. In this chapter, there are certain basic terms. The first one term is the health. Second one term is the hygiene. Third one term is the immune system. Fourth one immunity. Then antigen, antibody and characteristics of immunity. And after that you have to study in the details of the different types of the immunity. Now before teaching, I am making the micro notes of this point, that is types of immunity, and this micro note you have to note down in your notebook. Okay. Now the first one thing is that under the human health and diseases there are two terms. The first one term is the health. First you have to know about the what is mean by health. Now in case of the human being, okay, suppose this is the body of human being. Okay. Now this body always exposed to different type of the pathogens, to which in the environment different type of the pathogens are present, and this body it is always exposed to the different pathogens. Now pathogens means disease causing agent. In the same chapter, the different types of diseases and pathogens we are studying in the next lectures. Okay. Now here you have to concentrate only on the, suppose this is human body, and when this human body it is always exposed to the different types of pathogen, our body try to protect ourselves from these pathogen, and this human body it is having disease resistance capacity. Okay, disease resistance capacity or disease resistance power of the human body, this is called as immunity. What is called as immunity. Now when person's immunity is strong, it always healthy, and this health it is defined by World Health Organization. Now what is mean by health? It is not the limited meaning, that is health means absence of disease. The health term it is having a broad meaning. What is the meaning? That is human health it is a complete physical, mental and social state of well-being. Means when person is physically healthy, mentally and also socially at a complete comfortable stage, not it is in the absence of disease. Okay, not merely in the absence of disease, this complete physical, mental and social state of well-being it is called as health. Okay, what it called as? It is called as health. Now hygiene. Hygiene it is the science of the health. Means there are certain rules. Okay, these rules states that how to maintain our health. For a proper health, certain factors are very important. That is your proper balanced diet. In 11th standard under the nutrition, we studied that what is mean by balanced diet. Okay, if you are taking the balanced diet, that is all constituents of diet, these are present in the proper quantity. Okay, then this diet is called as balanced diet. The first thing is that if you taking the balanced diet, it is giving nutrition. Okay, the nutritional value of food it is very much important in case of the immunity. Okay, then second one, in case of the body, human body, the regular exercise, the balanced diet, nutritional diets, lots of or required quantity of intake of water, mineral, vitamins, lots of things include in your hygiene. And this science of rules of hygiene it is very important, how to maintain our health and how to boost our immunity. Okay, now inside the body whatever the disease resistance power is present, Okay, this disease resistance power, it is called as immunity. Okay, and this immunity, it is maintained by the different types of the factors. Okay, this will studied in details in the next lecture. Now this immunity, it is a complete called as immune system. What it called as? It is called as immune system. As like digestion, as like respiration, as like circulation, this is also a system in our body, but we cannot draw the diagram of immune system. Why? Because under the immune system, different cells, different functions are present, and these all structure protects our human body from the pathogens. Okay, hence this system which recognize this pathogen, which try to protect our body from these pathogens and destroy them. This complete organization, it is called as immune system. Okay. Now this immune system, it is very important because it is having very important characteristic. Which is this characteristic? This characteristic is that is our body can differentiate in between non-self and self component. Okay, inside the human body, whatever the self components, okay, these self components are easily recognized by our human body. Okay, and also sometime what happen, certain pathogens, suppose these are the bacteria, they enters into the body, certain viruses, they enters into the body, certain protozoa, pathogens, etc. These factors are non-self factor. What is this? These are the non-self factor, and these non-self factors easily recognized by our human body. Means our human immune system. Okay, this immune system, it is very important characteristic, that is it can differentiate between self and non-self component. Okay, non-self components are the pathogen. Okay, now most important thing is that when pathogen enters in your body, actually these pathogen non-self components means these are the foreign substances. Which substances? Foreign substances. When these foreign substances enter in your body, here components are released. These components are called as antigens. What is called as antigens? Mean antigens, these are the foreign particles, foreign substances which are formed in our body due to the entry of pathogen. Okay, and this pathogen leads to certain symptoms. Okay, at that time what happened? Our body, okay, our body create the certain components, the chemical molecules. These chemical molecules is called as antibody. Okay, now remember, this antigen is foreign substance. Okay, and antibodies are the self substance. What is antibody? These are the self substances. Okay, now in case of the human body, these two factors are very much important. Just I revise it. What is antigen and what is the antibody? Okay, now see, in case of the human body, suppose this is human body. Okay, now in this human body, when foreign substances enter, suppose any virus, any bacteria or any pathogen, okay, these are the pathogens. Okay, when this pathogen enter here, they release the substances. These substances are called as antigen. What it called as? Antigen. These molecules are not of the own body components. Hence these are called as non-self component. What it called as? Non-self components. Okay. And once antigen is formed inside our body, there is formation of Y-shaped molecules. These Y-shaped molecules, these are called as antibody. What it called as? Antibody. Means these antibodies are the self component of the human body and antigens are the non-self component of the human body. Now what happens actually? When this pathogen enters inside the human body, they release the antigen, and for protection to destroy this antigen, our body produces the antibody. I think you are very clear to these two components. First one, antigen. These are non-self components, foreign components released inside our body due to the entry of pathogen. And for the protection from this pathogen, our human body, it forms the antibodies. And these antibodies are self-component. They try to destroy this pathogen and it gives the protection from that particular pathogen which causes any type of the disease. Okay. Now, this ability of the human body is called as immunity. In simple word, immunity is the disease resistance power. Now, in case of the immunity, this immunity, it is of two different types. See, the next one point we are going to study, that is first one, this immunity. Okay. Now, immunity basically divided into two types. First one type is called as innate immunity. This innate immunity, it is non-specific. And second one is acquired immunity. Which immunity? The second one immunity, it is acquired immunity. Okay. And this is specific. Now, basic difference is that this innate immunity which is present in your body, it is natural, or it is called as inborn immunity. What it called as inborn immunity means this type of immunity, it is present from our birth. Okay, it is natural or it is non-specific immunity. And this acquired immunity, it is develops during life, after birth. Means after the birth, this immunity is developed. This is called as acquired immunity. Okay. Now, first we concentrate only on the first type, that is innate immunity. This innate immunity is called as inborn immunity, or it is also called as non-specific immunity. Okay. Now, remember this innate immunity, it works with the help of barriers. Okay. By which, that is with the help of barriers. Okay. Now, what is these barriers? Barriers means these are the ways to protect the body from the different types of pathogens. Now, in these barriers, the first one barrier is our epithelial surface. See, the first one point regarding this innate immunity, the first one is the epithelial surface. Now here, I just note down here, the epithelial surface means first one is the skin and mucous membrane. Okay. The first one barrier we can see, that is our skin and the mucous membrane. Okay. Now you are very well known to that total human body, it is covered by the skin, and this skin and different organs which is internally lined by the mucous membrane, both these try to prevent entry of pathogen. The first function of barrier, that is to prevent entry of pathogen inside the human body. Okay. This mucous membrane, it secretes a slimy secretion, that is mucus, and this mucus try to trapping of the microorganism inside this mucous membrane. Okay. This is first epithelium surface, try to prevent the entry of the pathogen. Okay. Secondly, the second epithelial surface, that is sebaceous secretion. Okay. Now you are very well known to that our human skin, it consists of two types of the glands. First one is the sweat gland and second one is the sebaceous glands. Okay. Sweat gland and sebaceous gland. In the detailed structure of the skin, we are very well known to that. It consists of two layers, that is epidermis and dermis. And in these layers, we can observe the sweat gland and the sebaceous gland. Okay. Now these sweat glands, they secrete sweat. Okay. And this sweat, it is having high salty concentration. What is present in the sweat? There is high concentration of the salt. And this high concentration of salt, it is bactericidal. Okay. These are very helpful to kill the bacteria. Okay. Also sebaceous gland. Now this sebaceous gland, they secrete the sebum. It is somewhat oily secretion. This is also helpful to trapping of the microorganism and also to kill the microorganism with the help of long chain of the fatty acids. Okay. Means our skin, which consists of sweat gland and sebaceous gland, these two components are very helpful to prevent or trapping of the microorganisms. Then next one, that is mucosa of RT. We are very detailed studied, that is respiratory system, and we are very well known to that our respiratory tract. It is started from our nose, then it is continuing to pharynx, then into larynx, larynx continue into trachea, trachea divide and redivide into bronchi, bronchi divides and redivide into bronchioles, and these bronchioles open into the lungs. Okay, we studied in the details of the human respiratory system. Now in case of respiratory system, the internal mucosa, it is also helpful. Suppose for example, in case of our nose, that is nasal chamber. Okay, this nasal chamber internally provided with mucosa and also internally hairs are present. These are very helpful to filter the air and trapping the dust particle or any other foreign particle. And sometimes if these dust particles are more, suddenly the cough reflex is taken place. Which type of reflex? Cough reflex. In case of respiratory system, the cough reflex, this coughing, intense coughing, it is very important to exhale, that is to remove these pathogens or foreign substances outside the human body. Okay. Then our mouth, it is provided with salivary glands. In 11th standard, we studied about these salivary glands. Okay, 3 pairs of the salivary glands are present in our mouth, and this mouth, inside this mouth, this salivary gland secretes the saliva. Okay, and this saliva, it is very important because it is bactericidal and keep our mouth clean, and this pH is also important to kill the microorganisms which are ingested along with the food. Okay. Then next one, that is gastric secretion. In our stomach, we know that there is secretion of the gastric juice, and this gastric juice, it consists of dilute HCl. Now dilute HCl, it is the acid. It is also very important to kill the microorganisms. Then in case of the excretory system, flushing action of urine. Okay, in the next chapter we are going to study about the excretory system. In 11th standard we already studied about the excretory system. In this, the excretory product inside the human body is urine, and this urine, it is flushing action. Okay, and this flushing action, it is very important to eliminate bacteria. Okay, these bacteria are eliminated with the help of flushing action of urine. Now in case of the male reproductive system, okay, in case of male reproductive system, the product is semen. Okay, now this semen, it is nutritive for the nutrition of the sperm. It is also having the antibacterial activity, or these are the bactericide. Okay, that is spermine and zinc. It is also helpful to prevent the infection of bacteria. In this way, these all components, that is epithelium surfaces, all these epithelial surfaces try to protect and to prevent the entry of pathogens. Okay, entry of pathogens, it is prevented with the help of all these components, that is skin and mucous membrane. Second one, sebaceous secretion, then mucosa, saliva, gastric secretion, flushing action of urine, and spermine and zinc. Okay, in this way we completed the first point, that is epithelial surface. Now second one is the antimicrobial substances. These antimicrobial substances, these are present in our blood and tissues. See, the antimicrobial substances. Okay, where these are present? These are present in our blood and tissues. Okay. Now these antimicrobial substances means what? These consist of 30 serum proteins. What it consists of? 30 serum proteins, or these 30 serum proteins, these are complement system or complement proteins, but these are actually in inactivate state in the blood. In which state? In inactivate state of the blood. These get activated when there is entry of pathogen, and these are responsible for the release of cytokines. Okay, all these components destroy the pathogens and protect the body from infectious pathogen. Okay, now third one component, that is cellular factors. It is very important. In the chapter circulation, we studied about our blood. In this blood we studied about the composition, that is this composition consists of two parts, that is plasma and the blood cells. Okay, now in this, the third one component, that is cellular factors, means these are the cells. Okay, which are the cells? These blood cells, that is for example different macrophages and macrophages, micro and macro, that is small and large. These cells, they perform important action, that is phagocytosis. It is very important point. In 11th standard we studied about the structure of the cell. In this we studied about the cell organelle. Okay, now related with this cell organelle, the important cell organelle we studied, that is lysosome. Okay, this lysosome, these are also recognized as suicidal bag. What it? Suicidal bags. Okay, these suicidal bags also perform the action of phagocytosis. What is meant by phagocytosis? It is having simple meaning. Phagocytosis means to engulf the pathogen inside the cell, and after that it is destroyed. Suppose this is pathogen in our body, it enters, this cell travels towards the pathogen. It is cell, phagocytic cell, and this is pathogen. Okay, these cells travels towards the pathogen, and this pathogen, it is engulf. It is inside this, it is engulf, and after that it is destroyed. This function, it is called as phagocytosis. Okay, and along with this phagocytosis, also natural killer cells work. Both these cells, these are important for the killing of the microorganism with the help of action phagocytosis. Okay, remember this point, that is these cellular factors means phagocytic and natural killer cells. They perform the action phagocytosis, destroy the pathogen and protect the human body. Okay, next one factor, that is fever. Okay, now in simple meaning, that is fever means increased body temperature. Okay, generally normal body temperature of the human being, it is 37 degrees centigrade. Okay, and when this temperature is increased above 37 degrees centigrade, we called it as the fever. Okay, and this fever, it is very important to inhibit growth of the pathogen. Means if pathogen enters in your body, due to the excess temperature, this pathogen cannot grow or multiply, and our body is protected. Okay. Also along with this cellular factor, fourth one is the acute phase proteins. Okay. Now these acute phase proteins, these are nothing but the plasma proteins. In case of blood, we studied about that two components, that is plasma. Okay. And second one is the blood cells. Okay. Now in this plasma, the proteins are present. Okay. These proteins, these are called as acute phase proteins. What is acute phase proteins? These are the plasma proteins present in the plasma. Okay. Now these acute phase protein means, which are these? CRP and MBP. CRP means C-reactive protein. What is CRP? C-reactive protein. And MBP means mannose binding protein. These are the proteins present in the plasma. They also try to destroy the action of pathogen, and all these components, that is first one epithelium surface, antimicrobial substances, cellular factor, fever and acute phase proteins, all these are involved in the maintenance of innate immunity. Innate immunity, that is inborn immunity, which is which is present from our birth. Okay, it is called as natural immunity. Okay, or it is also called as non-specific immunity. Okay, I think you have to clear about the first part, that is innate immunity. Now we are going to study about the second one part, that is acquired immunity or the specific immunity. Now first, this innate immunity, we know that it is inborn, means it is present from our birth. And second type, that is acquired immunity. This acquired immunity, it is developed during our lifetime, means after the birth. See, this is very important point, that is this acquired immunity, it is specific and it is developed after birth, or it is also called as adaptive immunity. Okay. Now this acquired immunity, it is having the basic characteristic. These are called as certain characteristics. That is, these characteristics are, here we can write here, that is characteristics of the acquired immunity. Characteristics, first characteristic is specificity. Second one characteristic is diversity. Third one characteristic is discrimination. And fourth one characteristics of acquired immunity is memory. Okay, remember, this acquired immunity, it is having these four characteristics, or these are also called as unique features of the acquired immunity. Okay. Now first is the specificity. What is meant by specificity? Specificity, that is specific, means fixed. This immunity is very specific to the specific pathogen, and there are lots of variety of the pathogen. That is, there is diversity in case of the pathogen, but our acquired immunity is very easily recognize the pathogen. Okay, means specificity and diversity, these two are the important characteristics, and along with this, discrimination in between non-self and self component. Okay. Now discrimination in between non-self and self component, this point is earlier we discussed. I am going to repeat again. This is human body. Inside the human body, when there is entry of pathogen, okay, this pathogen, it releases certain stimulus and there is formation of antigen. Okay, this antigen, it is foreign substance. This substance, foreign substance. And to destroy this antigen inside our body, there is formation of Y molecules. These Y molecules are called as antibodies. Okay, means this antigen, it is non-self component, and this antibody is self component. Okay. Now in between non-self and self component, acquired immunity can easily differentiate. Okay, this property is called as discrimination. And fourth property is memory. Memory means this acquired immunity, it is having memory of first infection. Okay, and this memory is long lasting. Okay, now in this way these four are the important unique features of the acquired immunity. First is the specificity, second one diversity, third one discrimination, fourth one memory. These four are the unique features of the acquired immunity. Now this acquired immunity, it is divided again into the different types. Now we are going to study about the types of the acquired immunity. See, this acquired immunity, it is divided into two types. First one type is called as active acquired immunity, and second one is called as passive acquired immunity. Okay, acquired immunity is divided into two basic types. First one type is active immunity, and second one type is the passive immunity. Now what is difference in between these two? Okay, see, this active immunity, it is due to antigenic stimulus. Now see, antigenic stimulus means due to the antigen. Okay, active immunity when develops when pathogen enters in our body. This pathogen release certain substances, and these substances are called as antigens. Okay, these are foreign substances. These are non-self components of the body. Now this antigenic stimulus, it results into the active acquired immunity. Okay, now this active acquired immunity, it is again divided into two types. First one, natural active acquired immunity, and second one is the artificial acquired immunity. See, first acquired immunity divided into active and passive. Okay, and active again divided into two, that is natural and artificial. Whole name is natural active acquired immunity, and second one artificial acquired immunity. Now this natural immunity, it is due to the, it is long lasting immunity. How it is? It is long lasting immunity because due to the first time of the infection, our body retains the memory. Okay, our body remembers that this type of infection takes place previously. Okay, for example, if person is recover from the measles, okay, but second time this infection does not take place because our natural immunity retains the memory of the first infection, and easily it can destroy the second time. Okay, the second one immunity, which is called as artificial immunity. Which immunity? Artificial. Now this artificial immunity, it is due to the developed due to the vaccination. How it is developed? It is developed due to the vaccination. Now in case of vaccination, what is mean by vaccine? It is very important point that during the COVID-19 infections, still the vaccine is not developed. Okay. Now what is this vaccine? See, this vaccine is not the medicine. What is vaccine? vaccine is actually the pathogenic preparation against the particular disease. Okay, suppose the disease is typhoid. Okay, and this typhoid it is caused due to the pathogen Salmonella typhi. Okay, now in this vaccine, when the vaccine is prepared for the typhoid, this vaccine consists of this pathogen. I think you are very clear about this. The vaccine means it is not the medicine. Vaccine is what? It is the combination of the pathogen. Either this pathogen is partially dead or it is weakened. Okay, and this pathogen is purposely injected in our body. We take vaccines, okay, for the small kids from the birth, right from the birth there is vaccination program. These vaccines are different types of pathogen purposely injected in our body to introduce the human body for particular disease which takes place in the human body in future. That is called as the vaccine. And this vaccination means nothing but the pathogen due to which our body it is familiar to the pathogen. Okay, means it is just the introduction to our body. Taking vaccine, that is introduction of our body to the different pathogens before the infection, and the vaccination results into the immunity called as artificial immunity. Okay, I think you are very clear about these 2 points. The first one is active immunity. It is of 2 types. First one natural and artificial. Natural immunity develops due to the memory cells because they retains the memory of first infection, and in case of artificial it is developed due to the vaccination. Okay, now second one, the type that is passive immunity. In this passive immunity it is developed due to the transfer of ready-made antibodies. This is basic difference. See here, active immunity it is developed due to antigenic stimulus, and this passive immunity it is developed due to the antibodies, but these antibodies are ready-made. That is, these are formed in other animals' body, and after that it is injected in the human body, and after that they work. This type of immunity is called as passive immunity. Okay, now this passive immunity it is again divided into 2 types. First one, same one, that is natural. Second one, also the same name having artificial. Okay, but don't confuse in the same words, because this natural is natural active acquired immunity. This artificial is artificial active. Okay, but this natural immunity it is passive. Also this artificial it is related with the passive immunity. Okay, now this natural immunity, the best example that is mother. Okay, in case of mother, the maternal antibodies, that is antibodies of mother. Okay, these mother's antibodies they transfer through the placenta in the blood of baby and protect the body from the infection before birth. This point is very much important. From the maternal antibodies, how the protection of fetus takes place. Before the birth, what happened? The mother's antibodies, that is maternal antibodies which are present in blood, they protect the fetus. Okay, and next one, after birth, the colostrum. See, colostrum. What is colostrum? The colostrum is the first milk of the mother. Okay, the first milk of the mother, very rich with these antibodies. It is called as colostrum, and they maintain the immunity after the birth. Hence, the mother's milk, it is very important for the newly born babies, because these are very rich with the colostrum. This colostrum consists of antibodies, and this type of antibodies maintain the immunity. It is called as natural. Actually, these antibodies which maintain the immunity of fetus, it is the antibodies of mother. Okay, and these are ready-made, because these are the maternal antibodies protect the baby. Okay, and second one, that is artificial. In case of this, the antibodies prepared in other animal, okay, in the body of different animal, and after that it is injected in the human body. Okay, for example, the disease rabies. Which disease? Rabies. In case of rabies, the antibodies are transferred in the human body from hyper immunized horse. See, horse. Inside the body of horse, these antibodies are actually prepared, and from these antibodies, these ready-made antibodies are injected in the body of human being for the vaccination. Okay. Now, this type of the artificial immunity, it is developed due to the ready-made antibodies which are developed or which are transferred from the other animal. Such type of immunity is called as artificial passive immunity. Okay. Now, I think you are very clear to that this acquired immunity. Okay. Now, all of these description you have to make the micro. When you studied about the descriptive points, you have to maintain the micro notes or micro points, because what happened, these names are similar. Here is also natural, here is artificial, here is natural, here is artificial. We get confused actually which type of mechanism in this immunity. Okay, now for this you have to only remember the keywords which are written on the board repeatedly, and it is very important. See, only the micro or the keywords. Okay. First, acquired immunity is divided into active, and second one is the passive. Okay, this one passive immunity. Now, how it is? Remember, this active divided into natural. Second one artificial. Okay, here is the also passive immunity divided into natural and artificial. Okay, now how we can remember all these points? Here you have to mention only the word, that is memory cells. Okay, description you have to remember. The memory cell retains the memory of first exposure, and the in future second time if infection takes place, these antibodies easily recognize and destroy that pathogen. You have to remember only the word, that is memory cell. In case of artificial, you have to only remember the word vaccine. Which word you have to remember? Vaccine. Here in case of natural immunity, you have to remember only the word maternal antibodies, that is mother's antibodies. Okay, and they protect the baby before birth through placenta and after birth through the colostrum. Okay, this is keyword. And in case of artificial, from or these antibodies, these are transferred from hyper immunized animal. Okay, these antibodies, these are from the hyper immunized animals antibodies in human body. Okay, these are the keywords. If you remember, it is very easy to describe the acquired immunity types. Okay, I think you have to clear about both the types, that is innate immunity and acquired immunity. On this type of immunity, the different types of MCQs will be asked. Also, there are short answered questions, and these questions we will be discussed in our assignment. Okay, thank you.